Lanez. According to the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, Lanez was stabbed by inmate Santino Casio at a housing unit at the California Correctional Institution in Tehachapi. That attack happened early yesterday morning. An Instagram post from Lanez's account says he was stabbed 14 times in that attack, causing both of his lungs to collapse. The post goes on to say he's now breathing normally and is in good spirits. The former rapper was sentenced to 10 years in prison back in 2023 after shooting fellow hip-hop star Megan Thee Stallion at a house party in Los Angeles. Casio was serving a life sentence in prison after being convicted of second-degree murder in 2004.
Woo, by a Mexican. Cloud Babies, Elevation Nation. Once again, I'm back. The name is Tony Remy. I'm here for the effery. All right, let's start the show. So, Cloud Babies, where we at, man? Tory Lanez got stabbed 14 times by a Mexican named Santino Casio, right? A convicted murderer, now serving life, right? So, the internet is not buying the narrative of like, oh, he's just a violent act. Nah, they're not buying it. So, people saying like Jay-Z's behind it. Maybe Megan Thee Stallion, the lawyer. I mean, we don't know. Some of it is far-fetched, but at the same time, is it? Because you cannot ignore the allegations, man. So we're going to break down why fans believe Roc Nation may be behind it, the disturbing timeline, and all of that, right? So I was on Twitter today, and I found this right here. So I'm going to show you guys why a lot of people are saying that Jay-Z might be behind it. So this is how we go.
4 contributors on this suspected gun. 90% contributor on this gun is a male, and the rest of the percentages of this gun are 2 females and another male. None of those 4 people are my DNA. So I am 100% excluded, not inconclusive like they said when I was in trial. I'm 100% excluded from this gun when it comes to DNA. My fingerprints are 100% excluded from the magazine, from the gun, from the bullets, from anything that has to do with this gun. Cedars-Sinai Hospital, with the help of LAPD, Los Angeles Police Department, for those who don't understand the abbreviation, together, they have put on my discovery that we have lost the bullet fragments. Well, if you lost the bullet fragments, then you can't even attach this gun to the alleged bullets that allegedly hit the victim in LA County. So we can never, ever grab the gun and do any retesting. The LAPD made sure to seal the gun so that there would be no retesting on this gun. When we went into court and we put these things in and said, hey, like, we're factually innocent due to these facts, the court said, you know what? We're going to consider that because there's good reason appearing on what you're saying. My judge, Judge Harringford, Judge David B. Harringford, I watched this man literally look at me and say, so let's just say I'll take the DNA evidence to be real, and I'll say that it's true. He said this on record, by the way. It's in my transcripts. He says, I'll take the DNA evidence to be true, but I'm going to say this. At the end of the day, even if I take it to be true, that's not a big factor in this case. That's not why he got convicted. Brother, what the fuck are you talking about? My nigga, what the fuck is you talking about, my nigga? Because that's the whole case.
Yeah, so a lot of people are saying that was like maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago, before this whole thing's him getting stabbed 14 times, by the way. He wasn't supposed to survive this. So they're saying this is Megan Thee Stallion's fans. They're all happy. I'm crying. The whole Twitter celebrating Tory Lanez getting stabbed. See, that's messed up. I don't think I don't think you should prey on somebody's downfall. Look at this one. Me liking all tweets, dragging Tory Lanez. Remember this? Yo, Megan Thee Stallion's fans are happy, yo. That's crazy. She might be somewhere crying, to be honest with you guys. Right? There's no way. It has to be a hit. A Mexican dude. Allegedly, Tory had the jail popping. He was adapting, yo. You know, he had everybody's for Christmas. Everybody's freaking commissary was lit allegedly. So why a Mexican would just like randomly attack him for no reason, stab him 14 times? Nah, I'm not buying it. So this is whack right here. Hold on a second. Let me break this down. We also have whack right here breaking this down also. Let me find a page. Whack 100. Watch this.
What happened to Tory? He got stabbed. Who stabbed him? A Mexican. That's it. That's the facts. We don't know what kind of Mexican, where he was from. We don't even care. That's what it is. Whatever them people gonna do, whatever the politics are on that yard or whatever the fuck is going on, then they gonna do what the fuck they gonna do. You ain't heard me speak about what a motherfucker gonna do. I don't know what they gonna do. I don't even know what it was over. We just know Tory Lanez was a victim, and it was a Mexican individual, regardless of who he is or what he is. If he's a midget, if he's 6 feet tall, if he's a gang member, if he's not, if he's a dropout, is it whatever the fuck, we don't know. We just identifying the race of the individual. We talking about a prison attack, and that's it. Those are the facts.
Yeah. And what
What
only thing else that we
what
said,
facility is he at, Wax?
He motherfucking goddamn fuck is that on the 58 over there? Goddamn
He out there in Tehachapi, ain't he?
into Hatchville, yeah, into Hatchville. Me
So,
off the 58 over there.
so what's
So
his status? Is he okay?
yeah, last I heard, last I knew he was alright. I ain't heard from him directly, but shit, he was breathing on his own and shit.
yeah, I
He's
think
still alive.
yeah, he's still alive. Hey,
So both lungs collapsed. Got stabbed twice in the left head, in the left side of the head, right? I think 14 in the chest, something like that. I don't know. It's just crazy. I think it's too much of a coincidence. And he wasn't supposed to survive this.
we was talking about earlier, what can you explain to them? Because a lot of us are saying we don't know, like, you know what I'm saying, but about flipping the yard, like when they come, because somebody,
So this is
a
what
lot of,
they doing. Like you'll have a mainline yard, which means it's a general population yard. You got these are large. You got general population yard, which is these the people who supposed to be in good standings when it comes to prison politics. And then you got a 50-50 yard, which is half people that's in good standings and half PC roll up motherfuckers. Then you got your sensitive need yards where the whole yard is just PC, whether it's rapists, pedophiles, motherfucking rats, whatever. This whole yard is PC, sensitive need yards. So what they starting to do, because I told y'all years ago, now it's like 3 out of the 5 prison yards is PC or sensitive needs. So now it's like, shit, we ain't got nowhere else to put these motherfuckers. See, in my day, a PC or a motherfucker just went to the hole. They didn't dominate no yards. It's like 1,000, 1,200 motherfuckers per prison yard if they occupying the gym or not, right? Depending on what prison it is. So PCs just went to PC. You went to the hole. Now it's more PCs than general population. So what they'll do is they'll say, all right, we got this
What you guys
prison.
think? Do you think they're gonna let him back to general population? There's no way, right? And also, can Tory sue the jail system? Can I just let a dude like this whole incident happened at 7 o'clock? So that's like breakfast. And where the hell was all the security? Let the dude get stopped 14 times.
And I'm just gonna throw a name out there. We got Folsom. All right, we got Folsom Prison, and this motherfucker's all PC yard. Nigga, we finna send a bus. We're gonna put 400 motherfuckers on this bus because we don't got room to put all these PCs that's sitting in reception center waiting to come to a yard. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take 400 of these 1,000 motherfuckers from this Folsom PC, 50-50 yard or PC yard, and we're gonna send them down here to Tehachapi, and we're gonna take 400 of the motherfuckers that's general population, put them on the bus, right? To make room for these 400 motherfuckers we finna drop on here that's PC. Now you got and took a general population yard, if this what it was, and you didn't made it 50-50 yard. Half dropout, half good. Which to some people now, they're gonna say it's all a dropout yard. They saying now, if you're good, you're supposed to assault the PC.
What's poppin', y'all? In a really unfortunate series of events and news that just keeps developing and gets worse and worse, Tory Lanez was attacked in prison. He's currently serving a 10-year sentence for the aggravated assault shooting of Megan Thee Stallion in 2020, and despite some people believing that he did it, some people not believing that he did it, he was convicted. It is what it is, and he had an opportunity to change things up when he could have testified, but he chose not to. And the initial report was by TMZ, and they said that Tory Lanez wanted to get out of prison, suffering a prison yard stabbing. He needs hospital treatment. He was in the yard of California Correctional Institution at Tehachapi Monday morning when another inmate stabbed him, according to multiple sources, including one in law enforcement. And they said it was unclear what the motivation was for the attack, although we will get one from people nearby to the situation a little bit later, and then we'll also get some conspiracy theories. And then it says he was rushed by an ambulance to a nearby civilian hospital in Bakersfield. And then they added an update saying that a rep for the California Department of Corrections confirmed that he was attacked by another prisoner in a housing unit at around 7:20 a.m. And then we would get another development, which is a little bit more frightening, which was the amount of damage that was done to Tory Lanez. Because initially they said he was stabbed, but he was in stable condition. So you think, like, okay, maybe he got like poked by a pen or something just once, maybe on the back, maybe on the side, and he was just recovering. Who knows why? Who knows the reasoning behind it? But then we would get some news that would make things seem a lot more spooky, which was eventually posted to Tory Lanez's Instagram page, saying the following: Tory was stabbed 14 times, including 7 wounds to his back, 4 to his torso, 2 to the back of his head, and 1 to the left side of his face. Both of his lungs collapsed, and he was placed on a breathing apparatus. He is now breathing on his own. Despite being in pain, he is talking normally, in good spirits, and deeply thankful to God that he is pulling through. He also wants to thank everyone for their continued prayers and support. When you look at the condition that somebody's in, number one, I'm not quite sure how someone who has 2 collapsed lungs is within 14 to 18 hours able to just breathe on their own. I wonder what kind of damage that has done to his vocal cords or like his ability to sing. I mean, not vocal cords, but like a lot of singing is breathing. I don't know how that will affect him musically. And I know it's crazy
That's
to
true.
just jump to music,
That's gonna
but
affect
that
him a lot
is a
because
lot
both of his lungs was collapsed. So I don't know if that's gonna affect anything. That is a good point.
What makes him the money and allows him to sustain himself and do what he's doing inside prison. Now, when we talk about do what he's doing inside of prison, Spider Loc, who's an individual that is tapped in with people in the California prison system and someone at Tory Lanez's institution who heard and saw what was happening in the aftermath of this, got on a call and gave some details as to what happened and how it's up after this. So I'm going to play you guys that clip right now.
This morning, brother, the Mex came out and bust on the boy Tory. You know, they airlifted him and all that. So that's gonna respond when we come off this shit. We're gonna respond the right way to that.
That's another thing too. Is that gonna create a race war? Like, because allegedly there was like a riot or something like that, like 3 weeks ago in that jail system, in that same jail.
No, it happened in the building.
What was it over? It was over some. What he had did he have a debt, a gambling debt or something?
Nah, nothing like that. Shit, we don't even really know. We don't even know the whole situation, you know.
So it was just like some foul play. So it's finna be up.
Yeah, it's for sure with some foul play.
Damn, cuz. Wasn't nobody right there with him when it happened? Wasn't nobody right there with him when it went down?
So here we get a little bit of context. I really personally I'm not willing to stamp this, nor am I willing to full on believe this at this point in time. With the way that we've gotten in content and the past couple of years too, a lot of people know that there's an opportunity to drive traffic or attention by giving breaking news or information about a certain topic, whether or not it's right or wrong. And that's just the nature of the game, but that doesn't mean we should buy into and just completely take things at face value. Although this would be very, very bad because, number one, let's first dispel any of the rumors, which is this wasn't a Roc Nation hit. This wasn't a Kendrick Lamar hit. And this just shows you this is a parallel that a lot of people are just looking for any event to weaponize for whatever agenda that they have. For instance, whenever there's a shooting or like let's say a bunch of kids get harmed, the first thing people will do is you get both sides of gun and anti-gun, and they're all trying to weaponize the situation to bolster their political position. In the same way, fans or haters, like people that hate Kendrick, are looking for ways to tie this to Kendrick. People that hate Jay-Z / Roc Nation, even Megan Thee Stallion, are looking for ways to tie things to them. And it's just, frankly, it's quite moronic, especially when you're talking about Roc Nation. Like, they're not, if you think Jay-Z is going to risk the amazing life that he has, the amazing legacy that he has, and the upwards mobility that he's on right now, which is potentially politics in the next 10 to 15 years, to potentially send a hit out on Tory Lanez for dropping a couple of bars on him. And
I agree with that. That is crazy. People do have crazy conspiracy theories out there. Like I said, Megan Thee Stallion they believe that is behind it. Jay-Z, Roc Nation, what's his face? The lawyer. They say the lawyer's compromised. I mean, you don't know.
An album that it's not even like the song turned into a #1 hit and carried anything. You are sorely mistaken. The same thing with Kendrick Lamar. Like Kendrick Lamar is, if you've listened to Kendrick Lamar's music, if you know the people around Kendrick Lamar, he's not going to send a hit out on someone just for saying something about the beef. And I personally did tweet something like this, like Tory Lanez gave us a better album behind bars than Megan Thee Stallion ever gave us in the free world. And that was just a thought that came to my head, and it was completely musical, to be fair. And it was to give extra credit to the album that Tory Lanez dropped while he was locked up, which is a great album. You should check it out if you haven't. I was going to do a video about it, but it's just so much time has elapsed, and every time I tell myself like, okay, I should do it now, I'm like, oh well, maybe it's been too long. So yeah, I've still been up in the air about it. Well, we'll see what happens in the near future. But what I am getting rumors about and hearing from behind the scenes is how Tory Lanez was moving in prison. And they're saying like this wasn't a gambling debt. They're saying that it's like a lot of the coded language that's going on in that call is saying that like the Mexicans put out this hit, or like it was somebody that Tory didn't even know. And if we're going to look at an instance of some other rapper who was killed, I forgot his name. He was a collaborator and close with Tokyo, made in Tokyo. Money Sign Suede. So Money Sign Suede was sentenced to a prison sentence. He was, 22 years old? Really young Mexican-American rapper. And he was just blowing up. He got a 2-year prison sentence. So if he came out at 24, he would have been able to pick things back up. And he got killed. He got killed in prison. I still don't know why. Some people that are really, really tapped into the streets, they may know like murmurs of what happened. Some people say, I don't know, it had to do with like some Mexican gangs. I don't know too much about that, to be fair. I don't know about Sureños. I don't know about like all that other like politics. I try not to get involved in that. I'm quite ignorant on that. And I personally would like to stay ignorant on that because I just think like those get into really, really dark topics, which are just not fun. Like the music stuff is fun. The other things are fun. That stuff, I just don't find it fun personally. So I'll leave that to other people that find it interesting and entertaining to dive deep into, and I will get informed through them. And part of the reason why this happened is Tory Lanez is not in protective custody. And there are also talks about how Tory Lanez has been involved or tapped in with Muslims in prison. He's also, California State Prison is also broken up into gangs as well. Gangs by color. So there's, I think, whites, Mexicans, blacks, and then I think the whites and the Mexicans are more likely to get along than blacks. But then within black people, there's a division of Muslims and gangs as well. Because I think if you guys remember the old Ty Dolla $ign album, Free TC, he is Ty Dolla $ign's brother, who is currently, he's Muslim, and he's in prison serving time, but he's also a gang member. And he did an interview years ago. By the way, this is an incredible album if you haven't listened to it. It came out in 2015. He did an interview back then talking about how sometimes, despite him having other black men that are also Muslim sharing the same faith, which is really the predominant mapping and navigation someone has in their life over everything else, if they're true believers, he has to be at odds with them at certain points because of his gang affiliation due to the politics of prison, which is survival. And that is a very, very unique angle that opened my eyes a lot to how it works inside there, or to a degree of how it works inside there. And people are saying that Tory Lanez is moving money around, he's playing the politics inside there, and I don't know how good of a thing that is, because everyone's like, yeah, Tory's real. Like, Tory didn't testify. Tory didn't point the finger at Kelsey, which if you look at the case, he could have, and possibly things would have gone a different way. Although, listen, man, he made the choice that he did. And he seemed confident, or I guess you would say he seemed a little overconfident that he was going to win the case. And if he's still moving like that, and let's say putting money on people, like supporting people, like maybe putting money on their lawyers and things like that, but also using money to move around like who's the villain in Deadpool? Like Wilson Fisk inside there, then you're really setting yourself for something else. And I think it runs back to an indicator of Tory Lanez's personality, which is Tory Lanez has a dominant personality where he potentially gets into danger, doesn't really like taking disrespect for sure. But when you're serving time, like, you kind of got to just tuck your tail, put your head down, and wait it out. I don't think that this is happening out of nowhere. I don't know why it's happening exactly, but it's for sure an unfortunate situation. And a lot of this is self-control, and we can look back to the situation. Like, fans, the one disgusting thing, though, is Tory Lanez haters. I wouldn't even call them Megan Thee Stallion fans. There are Tory Lanez haters that are saying things like, oh, how do you know he really got stabbed? Oh, he's lying about getting stabbed. And they're just trying to make jokes about the situation in relation to Megan Thee Stallion. And first of all, let's nip this in the bud. Initially, when Megan Thee Stallion got shot, or like we believe she got shot, everyone believed her initially. That's the thing. Like, this one tweet said, so Tory Lanez gets stabbed and it's, guys, he's still human. Oh my God, prayers up for him. But when Megan gets shot, it's conspiracies and get up on your good foot. F y'all for real. Number one, the person that said get up on your good foot was Nicki Minaj, which is another woman. So they can't play the whole angle of a woman versus man, or like men in this situation. And on top of that, everyone believed Megan Thee Stallion in the beginning. But then when her story starts changing and she says, like the initial report that she gives to the police, and then she switches up and says, no, Tory shot me, and she goes on IG Live, and then she's twerking 2 days later and she's performing, everyone's looking at, whoa, what's going on? We thought you got shot in the foot. How are you standing? How are you shaking your behind? How are you just traveling and performing? So that, it brought doubt into people's mind. And even still, the majority of people were not on Tory Lanez's side. He was getting grilled and cooked by everybody for 2 months straight. And then he eventually dropped Daystar, which was addressing the whole situation. And even then, he was panned by many people. You hear the intro of the Daystar album, just listen to it. You've got all of these popular media outlets and people within hip-hop saying F Tory, screw him. And then eventually, through good music, really, I think good music carried a lot of it. For after a year or two, people started coming around, maybe reading more details of the case, or just being swayed emotionally by music to favor Tory a little bit more and calm down their initial emotional response. So people were not all in arms and out about Megan Thee Stallion, but some people are trying to say the situation is fake and lying. You think that TMZ, who you could say was quite supportive of Megan Thee Stallion and putting Tory Lanez in prison, is going to report news from their sources in the corrections and in the police or in the hospitals that Tory Lanez is getting treated at that would make Tory Lanez seem more harmed than he actually is? Like, what sense does that even make? If you're going to make up a conspiracy theory or try to do something like this, at least have all your ducks in a row. At least have it try to make sense or line up together. And it doesn't in this case at all. And it just shows that these people just want suffering. Like, if Tory Lanez died, they would celebrate. And this is really sad.
Yeah, you could see it on Twitter. It was everyone on Twitter. Everybody was celebrating, which is crazy. You cannot pray for somebody to die. Like, I don't know. it's just crazy to me. All right. So we also have, who's this guy right here? Who's this fucking guy?
We wanted to give you a proper update on what's going on with Tory Lanez. Through his representatives and also his own Instagram page, they have now confirmed that Tory Lanez, who is in critical condition, he was airlifted to the hospital. An initial report were put out by a source from the prison. Apparently, they were trying to downplay the fact that Tory's injuries were pretty much life-threatening. And they're saying it's a miracle he survived this attack. Apparently, he was stabbed 14 times, 7 to the back, 4 to the torso, and 2 times to the head, and including 1 to the left cheek. He put out this on his own personal Instagram by saying Tory was stabbed 17 times, including, well, same thing he told us, right? 7 wounds to his back, 4 to his torso, 2 to the back of the head, and 1 to the side of his face. Both of his lungs has collapsed. He was placed on a breathing apparatus. He's now breathing on his own despite being in pain. He's talking normally. He's in good spirits and deeply thankful to God that he's pulling through. He also wants to thank everyone for their continued prayers and support. There was an audio that kind of came out that was trying to explain what happened. I don't know where this kind of came from.
Everybody, I'm here.
Hold on, give me 1 second. Tory Lanez stabbed. Let's see if we could play the content. Unfortunately, I hate using that word, content. By the way, there is a video of him being airlifted. Here's the video of him being airlifted to the hospital. So this is him being taken off of this chopper. So he was flown from, apparently his injuries were so serious, they flew him from the prison, right? Because the prison does have a medical ward, but they're not really trained to deal with deep lacerations and other things that might be, now we're hearing he had punctured lungs or collapsed lungs. They're not trained to deal with all of that. So essentially, they airlifted him to a civilian hospital, and this is him being taken out of the helicopter. Okay. Now, there's an audio. I want to get the full audio. Chat, where's this full audio from? By the way, look at some of the reports they're doing.
President Trump is opening his 4-day trip to the Saudi Arabia.
What the hell?
R&B singer, several victims
and rushed to a hospital.
And prostitution charges against him.
Rapper Tory Lanez was stabbed 14 times in a California prison and rushed to a hospital. Officials say that attack happened Monday morning at California's State Correctional Institution. Lanez is currently serving 10 years for shooting Megan Thee Stallion in 2020. His lungs collapsed after that attack, but his team says he's now breathing on his own and he's in good spirits. The motive for this attack is unclear. An investigation is now underway. Lanez's team thanked fans for their prayers and support.
Okay. I'll play this audio until I find the full thing.
This morning, brother, the Mex came out and bust on the boy Tory. They airlifted him and all that. So that's gonna respond when we come off this shit. We're gonna respond the right way to that.
They laid the yard down.
No, it happened in the building.
What was it over? It was over some. What he had did he have a debt, a gambling debt or something?
Nah.
Now, the full call, I believe, I didn't even know this guy like blogs or streams. I heard from Wack he did. So, bro, Wack threw you, a little lifeline. A Spider Loke exclusive jail call from Tehachapi State Prison. Now, they're trying to say that it was Mexicans who stabbed Tory up. And apparently, there's a race war going on within the jail. So there's a race war going on, and it's Mexicans versus black. That's what they're trying to say. I don't know if this is true. We're getting this from, this is going to be an inmate talking to Spider Loke, kind of giving the breakdown on what the fuck happened, because I don't think they witnessed it, but, obviously the prison's going to talk.
Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe.
Here we go.
Hello?
Hey, yeah, I'm ready.
All right, hold on. My commercial.
Yo, son. Hello.
My bad, Daddy. I was getting my car at the car wash.
All right, don't trip. Hey, the boy Tory Lanez just got hit up there.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, by some Mexicans. I got some people up there calling me. I'm finna record their call. I'm gonna call you back.
All right.
All right. Hello. 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 Shit, the fuck? Hello. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you now.
What it do, cuz?
Yo, I hear you, bro.
What's Gucci?
What's cracking?
What it do, Five?
Shit, nothing much to look, right? This morning, brother, the Mex came out and bust on the boy Tory. They airlifted him and all that, so, that's gonna respond when we come off this shit. We're gonna respond the right way to that.
They laid the yard down?
No, it happened in the building.
What was it over? It was over some. What he had did he have a debt, a gambling debt or something?
Nah, nothing like that. Shit, we don't even really know. We don't even know the whole situation,
So it was just like some foul play. So it's finna be up.
Yeah, it did for sure with some foul play.
Damn, cuz. Wasn't nobody right there with him when it happened? Wasn't nobody right there with him when it went down?
Yeah, I guess nobody wasn't. He was by himself.
Atomic Gun, thank you for the 50. You didn't have a message with your donation, though. I appreciate you, brother. Send a message, bro.
Yeah, he got a whole tier full of necks. He on a whole tier full of necks.
Wow.
But you already know, once we get off this shit, we press some play on. We press play.
I'm already knowing. God damn. You don't know if he gonna be all right or not either, huh?
Nah, we don't know yet. He gonna be all right, though. He gonna pull through, though.
That's right. That's crazy, because I've been out here. I've been, the whole time he's been going through what he's been going through, I've been feeling like that nigga got railroaded. I hate to see him in that position. I'm glad.
Man, for sure, he got railroaded.
Yeah, he got railroaded. I'm glad that
that's an innocent man in prison, bro.
I believe it, 100%. How he been programming in there? He been programming cool?
Man, all he do is program, come outside, work out, play ball, do him.
That's right. I heard it's been cracking up there too. It was a riot the other day, not too long ago.
Yeah, it was like I want to say like 3 weeks ago it was a riot.
Yeah, I got.
Like 2 weeks.
You been straight though?
Yeah, it be cracking up here. Yeah, I been straight. You know me, keeping my head up high. I got 4 months left.
As you should. As you should.
I be out there.
You gotta tap in, come through the black box when you get out here, man.
I got you. I'm gonna fill up at the black box and all that. It's good.
Hey, bud, good. And I'm finna. I'm finna get this shit out to the people. Let them know Tory Lanez all right, but he went through something, and I'm glad you tapped in, cuz. Good looking.
Yeah, you already know. Stand up, it's all love.
For Dev Dope. Good looking, Dex.
Yeah, no doubt. Nigga, I'm gonna get you the content as soon as I get it.
All right, cuz.
I love West Coast niggas, man. All right, cuz. On Paru content. The on Paru content is diabolical.
And none of you niggas.
Okay. All right. So we're hearing that there might be like some race war kind of brewing. Don't know fully what the hell is going on, but man, our prayers definitely go out to Tory Lanez. It looks like he is speaking. Looks like he's going to pull through. However, this, if they stabbed him in his face, we're not getting the description on what they stabbed him with.
That's crazy,
but
man.
Clearly it was enough for him to get airlifted to a civilian hospital and nothing that they felt they could take care of by just being in the jail facility. Maconio, thank you for the 2. It says, yo, love you, Ack. What up with you? Okay? Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, this is beyond. Pray for Tory, man. Pray for Tory. This is beyond. This is crazy. So, Cloud Babies, have you guys seen the Diddy trial? Have you guys been paying attention to it? So, allegedly, this is day 2, I believe, and Cassie is speaking out. I believe I'll Be Sure will be next, and if it is, if it is, man, it's bad. It is real bad for my boy. Well, he's not really my boy. I don't know why I just said that, but for my boy Diddy, man, pray for Diddy. Pray for Diddy. Let's watch this. Where we at? Boom. Let's go.
And just a warning, this story contains accounts, descriptions, and visual content of actual or alleged events that some may find disturbing.
Mom, how are you feeling today, Mom? How is your son?
Woo! Mama Combs is looking stressed.
About the case at all.
Brian
All
Steele.
eyes are on this New York
That's
City
a good
courthouse.
lawyer, yo. Did he hire Brian Steele, which is this guy right here? That's the guy that was Young Thug's lawyer. He's very, very good.
All eyes are on this New York City courthouse as the federal trial for disgraced mogul Sean Diddy Combs begins.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs goes on trial today.
Combs is inside the courtroom along with those prospective jurors.
He faces multiple charges, including racketeering and sex trafficking.
The musician famous for hits like Bad Boy for Life.
What I've been through, y'all got drama, the saga continues.
And Can't Nobody Hold Me Down.
Trying not to lose our heads.
Charged with sex trafficking, transportation for prostitution, and racketeering conspiracy.
Yo, who's the artist,
The 55-year-old has pleaded not guilty to all charges.
Today was a monument.
They bugging. Look at this drawing right here. I know you don't have time, but like we have Chat GPT now.
Until day when we're talking about Sean Combs, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy. At one point, he also had the actual key to New York City. So to see him today facing trial on federal criminal charges is completely a downfall of who Puff Daddy, who Sean Combs was.
Prosecutors allege he used his power to force women into prolonged drug-fueled orgies he called freakoffs, and then threatened them into silence.
Jeez.
The freakoffs, according to prosecutors, were these sex marathons. Some of them lasted days, and they were fueled by ecstasy or other party drugs.
Dude, how you have a freak-off or orgy for days? Allegedly, there was one that lasted 4 days. Like, come on, son. That's a marathon right here.
And women were not allowed to leave.
Highly anticipated at the trial, the testimony of Cassandra Ventura, the singer better known as Cassie, who is at the center of this now infamous video. The disturbing scene appears to show Combs chasing her down a hotel hallway in 2016, knocking her down and kicking her. The first evidence shown to jurors today, videos and photos from that violent encounter.
Everyone was leaning in and focusing and watching this video. Literally, you can hear a pin drop in that courtroom.
A security guard who came onto the scene in the aftermath of that attack testified that Diddy had a devilish stare and Cassie had a purple eye. Another witness alleging he was paid to have sex with Cassie while Diddy watched and told to urinate on Cassie.
You heard so much about sex during the prosecution's opening.
Cassie. He was paid to have sex with Cassie while Diddy watched and told to urinate on Cassie.
You heard so much about sex during the...
Diddy was a wild boy, hey. This guy was really wilding out here.
Prosecution's opening, the defense opening. You heard about oral sex. You heard about missionary style. You heard about baby oil being put on people's body. You heard so much. This is not a case for the prude.
Cassie and...
After knowing like mad niggas be like running train on her like that, and Diddy was watching, son, it's different. Yo, recent.
Her graphic and disturbing 2023 civil lawsuit against Diddy changed everything, helping spur the federal criminal investigation into the mogul. Diddy has denied these allegations and settled that suit without admission of wrongdoing.
Mom, how are you feeling?
Diddy's mother and children arriving to court this morning to support him, along with Combs' spokesperson.
Obviously, this is like a horrific time for the family, so they're just trying to hold steady in their faith and make sure that they take care of each other.
How is Mr. Combs feeling?
Upbeat. I think, obviously this is a huge deal, and so he's just ready to have his side told in open court.
Inside the courtroom today, Diddy smiling and blowing kisses to his family.
He's very observant as to what's going on in the courtroom, and he's taken part in his defense.
Both sides delivered their opening statements, making their case. The all-female prosecution team saying that Combs used a trusted inner circle to commit crime after crime.
All white female.
Including kidnapping, arson, and sex crimes. Prosecutor Emily Johnson saying, this is Sean Combs. To the public, he was Puff Daddy, or Diddy, a cultural icon, a businessman larger than life. But there was another side to him, a side that ran a criminal enterprise.
The prosecution is alleging that it was his inner circle that enabled him to be able to engage in these acts, but also hide these acts from the public and for it to go on for so long.
At least 3 alleged victims of Diddy are expected to testify, including Cassie, and a woman prosecutors are referring to as Jane. During opening arguments, prosecutors alleged that Diddy forced the women to participate in so-called freakoffs and instructed Cassie and Jane how to look, to dress in lingerie, wear tall platform high heels, and have manicured white nails. Diddy's defense arguing the sexual relationships were consensual and not coerced, saying the rapper lived a swingers lifestyle.
The defense wants to say that these women are all adults. They're all consenting and willing participants in these freak-offs.
Defense attorney Tenny Garrigo saying in her opening statement, that may not be what you like to do in your bedroom, but you're not here to judge him for his sexual preferences. She later added, being a willing participant in your own sex life is not sex trafficking. That disturbing video was also part of the defense's opening arguments, plainly saying it was an instance of domestic violence. Garrigo saying, domestic violence is not sex trafficking. Had he been charged with domestic violence, had he been charged with assault, we would not be here right now.
The defense said that Sean Combs may be a lot of things. He may have committed domestic violence, but those aren't the crimes the defense said that he's charged with. So in effect, the argument is he's a criminal, just not the kind of criminal they say he is.
The first testimony in the trial taking jurors to Los Angeles, March 2016, in the hotel where that surveillance video was taken. The first witness, an LAPD officer who worked security at the hotel, he says he responded to a call for a woman in distress on the 6th floor.
When he got to the floor, he noticed that there was glass on the floor, that the vase and the flowers were broken.
The security guard described going back to Diddy's hotel room and standing in the doorway while Ventura grabbed her things. Inside, another man sitting at the corner of the bed.
So from the very start, the first witness brings the jury into that hallway where he said Sean Combs looked at him with a devilish stare and Cassie Ventura had a purple eye.
Sean Combs tried to offer him money, to give him money to make this go away, and he said he wouldn't accept the money.
The second witness to take the stand, Daniel Phillip, a man who said he was paid to have sex with Cassie on multiple occasions at several high-end New York City hotels, while Diddy watched. The witness said he was paid between $700 and $6,000 each time.
So Mr. Phillip agreed to go to the Gramercy Hotel to do a performance for a bachelorette party. At least that's what he thought. But when he got to the hotel, to the room, that Cassie opened up the door. He did not know that was Cassie, and that she told him, well, it's my birthday and my husband wants to do something special, so can you give me a massage with this body oil, and then we can just take it from there and see where it leads.
Diddy allegedly in the corner masturbating, wearing a bandana over his face. During these meetups, he says Diddy would often give directions and at times tell him to step off and back up because he was going to get some.
Sean Combs's
this guy, he was directing the whole thing.
Children, his mother came to court to support him, but when the testimony became graphic, his daughters stood up and walked out. When they came back in at one point, the testimony got more graphic.
Yo, Diddy
Accused
should
of
know.
crime so heinous.
Diddy should know better, like
Enabled him to be able to engage
having
in
the
these
kids
acts,
in there,
but
though.
also hide
was
these
that?
acts from the public and to make this go away. And he
But why would Diddy let the kids come through knowing that they're gonna, Cassie's gonna be there saying all
said
sorts
he
of
wouldn't
craziness?
accept the money.
The second witness to take the stand, Daniel Phillip, a man who said he was paid to have sex with Cassie on multiple occasions at several high-end New York City hotels, while Diddy watched. The witness said he was paid between $700 and $6,000 each time.
So Mr. Phillip agreed to go to the Gramercy Hotel to do a performance for a bachelorette party. At least that's what he thought. But when he got to the hotel, to the room, that Cassie opened up the door. He did not know that was Cassie, and that she told him, well, it's my birthday and my husband wants to do something special, so can you give me a massage with this body oil, and then we can just take it from there and see where it leads.
Diddy allegedly in the corner masturbating,
Freakazoid.
wearing a bandana over his face. During these meetups, he says Diddy would often give directions and at times tell him to step off and back up because he was going to get some.
Sean Combs's children, his mother, came to court to support him, but when the testimony became graphic, his daughters stood up and walked out. When they came back in at one point, the testimony got more graphic about ejaculation, about urination. That was too much. They turned and walked out again.
Phillip also described witnessing Diddy drag and hit Cassie. When asked by prosecutors why he didn't intervene, he testified, "My thoughts was that this was someone with unlimited power, and chances that even if I did go to the police, that I might still end up losing my life." Cassie, who's now 8 months pregnant, is expected to take the stand tomorrow.
Cassie's the case. Cassie Ventura, who has not spoken about this publicly except in a civil lawsuit, is taking the witness stand as a star witness.
Her husband and father of her children spotted at court today. If convicted, Combs could face life in prison.
That's incredible. Diddy is done. What do you guys believe? Do you guys think that Diddy is over? Is it over for Diddy? Because I think it is. When Cassie say, yo, I was out there doing all sorts of wild shit because of this guy, it's a wrap. So right before I leave, guys, look what I found. Fucking Joey Badass out here talking reckless. And I love every moment. He bodied this track, Cloud Babies, in front of Absol. Franken, who else was there? Big Sean. Watch this shit. Hip hop is back. Hip hop is back, Cloud Babies. I'm going to react to this real quick right before I go. I got to be outie soon. My mouse is tripping. Hold on a second. Sorry for the delay. Let's go. Hip hop punked out. I ain't going to lie to you guys, yo. You representing Brooklyn, yo. Well done. Very well done. I'm loving it. Cloud Babies, I'm entertained. Despite all this Tory Lanez getting stabbed 14 times, I was sad about that, all right? And Diddy out here wilding. I was also sad about that. But this right here, prime. Prime. But anyway, Cloud Babies, thank you so much for tuning in, man. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. Tune in next time. I'll be doing this 4 times a week.